you just not wearing my hat, and I haven't seen your hair in a while.
I think last week I did wear a hat and you didn't see my hair, but yeah, I got a haircut like about a week ago. What the fuck? That's different. I haven't seen you wear that jersey yet.
Yeah, I bought it. It's Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Love it.
I got it actually before we moved up here, right when the Bengals switched uniforms. I found this at Ross for like $40, so I bought it.
Oh, that's a steal.
I have a Dak jersey too. I need to wear my Dak jersey on the show.
That's still a clean deal, my boy. We take those. Brian in here immediately. Harbaugh got the fucking hammer. They sent this man to the shadow realm for 3 games.
Just Rip Boza. I mean, he didn't die, Brian, but you know. I really want to know how deep this Michigan cheating shit goes. I
don't think it goes as deep as we think, because if it was, I feel like the punishment would be a lot steeper.
But it was the Big Ten handing out the punishment. And Big Ten is one of Michigan is one of the Big Ten's darlings. So you know.
Yeah, it's a big money maker, you know.
But it's awfully suspicious if you look at the record of Jim Harbaugh in Michigan before they hired this Connor Stallions guy.
I guess we're starting.
He was like 60. He was like 60 something and 40 something, and since they hired him, he's 21-1.
Let me tell you something. Having a competitive edge goes a long way, my boy.
Yes, it do. Especially when you're cheating and know all your opponent's signs.
Yeah.
What's up, Brian?
I had to explain to Callie earlier when we went to Pluckers that how exactly that would go down. And then I painfully had to go, it's basically what the Astros did in 2017. And then I was like, yeah, why did I have to use that example?
Because it's the most recent one we have.
Yeah, it is what it is. Well, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much pain were you in this week after a very close loss in Philly last week?
I'm going to tell you something, Daryl. LSU losing to Alabama and the Cowboys losing to the Eagles in the same fucking weekend doesn't feel good.
That shit just almost did you in. I just know you were on the couch upset, then a motherfucker just like, nothing going my way at all. I'm going to get a ticket tomorrow on the way to work. I can feel it.
You know what's really funny about that, Daryl?
What's that?
And I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but I'm going to.
Do it.
You know, I've had a lot of jobs in my life, and now that I have a pretty steady one that I'm proud of.
We don't have enough viewers to get canceled, so say whatever you want.
You're right. Every single time that I have ever been let go from a job, on my way to work that day, whatever day, morning or night, and it was almost involuntary. The words "I'm getting fired today" just fly out of my mouth. I'm in the vehicle by myself, and I physically say the words "I'm getting fired today," and then it happens.
What kind of fucking soothsaying shit is that?
I have no idea, but every single time it's happened.
You got to start manifesting happier things, man. You got to drive to on the work, and you got to say some shit like, "I'm gonna find a $20 bill today." You got to start driving to work and saying, "Cowboys are gonna win this weekend."
You're right.
You got to start going into work and being like, "I'm getting a raise." Like, you got to start manifesting good things, brother.
I mean, it's only happened like 2 or 3 times, and it's been years since it did.
Yeah, but just say it. Just get that good out there. Use your superpowers for good.
For sure. But yeah, I'm upset that we lost to the Eagles, obviously. But what I'm more upset about is the fact that I felt the game was not called fairly.
Oh, I thought it was called more than fairly, because that last drive, they basically handed us the game in the final drive. We couldn't close.
But my point is, they wouldn't have needed to hand us the game. We wouldn't have needed a game-winning drive had they been calling the game fairly the entire time. Like that bullshit pass interference on Stephon Gilmore, the ball was uncatchable.
I agree.
The multiple misholding calls, the missed pass interference on the Schoonmaker touchdown that got called back, he literally tackled him before the ball got there. The freaking, on our last drive, the literal actual hands to the face that we saw on the replay, and they threw the flag and then picked it up.
Yeah,
it's just,
that one was. Look, my point is this. I agree with you.
But it's also a problem that we had 1st and goal from the 6 and didn't score. That's also a problem.
To me, it was the sack. It was the sack that we just could not afford to have. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, and you got to give some credit to Philly's defense, but good God, like, you just cannot have that, especially when you've got a drive going that long. Defense is tired. Like, this is the time to take advantage.
When we had the opportunity, we should have kicked the field goal and kicked it deep and then tried to get the ball back.
I think.
Here's what I think happened. Yes, Brian, this is a Bengals jersey. It's a Joe Burrow jersey that I got on sale at Ross.
Joey B.
Here's what I think happens when people play the Eagles, right? They see that the Eagles have this brotherly shove, tush push bullshit, and they're going for it on 4th and short all the time. So it gets them in their heads, and they're like, we got to go for it on 4th and short too to make up some of the ground that they're stealing from us. And
interesting.
They don't have a cheat code play to put in, so they're not getting as much. So I think our coaches got in their own heads about how aggressive they needed to be.
See, honestly, to me,
I appreciate sometimes, but still.
Yeah, and to me, like, I forgot who it is on commentary, the old tight end for the Panthers that was on commentary. Greg Olsen. I thought it was Greg Olsen, but I didn't want to be wrong if I said it out loud. He was making the point on that last drive that Dallas should have, like, accepted that they maybe weren't going to do it, right? Like, get down the field as much as you can, kick it, get the ball back, and basically, like, waste as little time as possible. But I was very much the opposite, and they actually did what I thought was, like, we are not giving this ball back. Like, this is the drive. We're going forward every single time. Like, we're going to waste as much clock. We're going to go down there and score. We're not going to give this thing back because the defense has proven, like, the defense is opportunistic as hell, but, like, this is just an offense. It's not the night for it, and it's not the night
also,
to the defense.
If Dak moves his foot, like, 6 inches to the left.
It was a game eventually.
On that 2-point conversion.
And if Schoon is a foot forward.
The bullshit, they fumbled the ball and we clearly recovered it, and then they were like, no, he got it back.
How did that happen? Oh, that shit hurted.
Also, it's a problem that they lost that they had 3 fumbles and we didn't recover a single one of them.
Right.
That's also a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
And there was that one fumble, it happened, it was like on the last time they had the ball with like under a minute, and they fumbled, and I was like, all right, here we go. Micah was literally right there, and the way he went to grab it knocked it out of the way.
I mean, if anything else, I'm encouraged by the fact that they still look like a Super Bowl team. Like, they still look
Dak
like they
played phenomenally.
Dak didn't, exactly. Dak, as much as people like to point the finger at Dak, he was not the problem in this game. He played, this is his best game all year. I mean, genuinely, I feel like he played better this year in that game. On the road,
legit Super Bowl contender, division game
environment. I mean, he did everything right. I mean, you have that Dak. If you have that Dak play with the same defense we've had all year, we're gonna win. We're definitely gonna win the next 4, right? Like, if that Dak shows up, if that defense shows up, we should win the next 4.
Let me tell you something. Since the Cardinals beat the Cowboys, they are 0-6.
Yeah.
Since the 49ers beat the Cowboys, they are 0-3.
Cowboys got death touch this year. If the Eagles slide,
next opponent is the Chiefs.
And they got a bye.
They have to play the Chiefs. I think they have a bye this week. Let me go look at the Eagles
they do
schedule.
Because my fantasy fucked up this week.
The Eagles legit could lose their next 4 games.
Because they got a bye, and then they got the Chiefs, and they got the Bills, I think. And they got like 2 others before they play us.
They got the Chiefs. They have a bye this week. At the Chiefs, they get the Bills at home, and then they get the 49ers at home. So hopefully Brock Purdy can start playing, and then they come to Dallas. So, and then it don't get any easier because after they play us, they have to play the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And then they go Giants, Cardinals, Giants, which those are all 3 layups.
Right.
But, like, there's a legit shot the Eagles could lose 5 games in a row.
Yeah.
And nothing would make me happier.
It's a tough schedule for both them and for Dallas. I mean, there's just a lot. I mean, it's a very exciting time to be a fan of either team right now. There is a lot that could happen.
Cowboys next games, we get the Giants this Sunday. Panthers, we go to Carolina. Those are 2 layups. This game I'm worried about against Washington on Thanksgiving. We never play good on Thanksgiving because it's a Thursday game and we always have the short turnaround because we always play on Thanksgiving. And for whatever reason, Washington sometimes has our number and they're always a scrappy team. So I'm worried about that. And then we play the Seahawks at home. Seahawks are a good team. Eagles at home, and then.
Well, I tell you what, Baltimore made the Seahawks look very sus. I was so confused by that game. But go on.
So after these 3 games that could be layups, our schedule gets tough. Seahawks at home, Eagles at home, at the Bills, at the Dolphins, Lions at home.
Yeah, so
and then we get the Commanders. We get Washington the last game.
But that's good going into the playoffs because you need to be playing quality teams.
Mm-hmm.
Brian mentioned that the Chargers-Jets game was ugly. Yeah, what the hell was that? Oh my God, I didn't even realize this, but yeah, I continually feel terrible for Zach Wilson.
Did you watch any of the Tank Bowl last night?
That was so ugly. I just saw the score and I was like, ugh. I have zero desire to watch that.
Dude, I feel bad for Bryce Young, bro. Like, I really do.
You know who I don't feel bad for, though? It's C.J. Stroud. Oh, C.J. Stroud. My goodness. We watched that game, like, from beginning to end.
Oh, my God.
He's going to have his sophomore slump next year, but let me tell you something. He looks very good this year.
He can take the Texans to the playoffs.
If they can sneak in the back door into the wild card, like, look out.
They might win a wild card.
He's going to be the guy to break Trevor Lawrence's heart this year.
Watch, could happen. Wouldn't it be crazy if we got Cowboys Texans in the Super Bowl after we had Astros Rangers in the AFC?
Sign me up! Oh my God! Please give me that.
I'm not a Texans fan, but I would not be mad if we played the Texans in the Super Bowl and lost. Like, I'd be mad that we lost the Super Bowl, but
Also, we're not sponsored or anything, but I have something. This is just me sharing you as a buddy. I just wanted to share this with you. Callie got me something for my birthday here that I think is going to make you nut live and on camera. Look at this beautiful cooler bag that I am now in possession of.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Oh, anyway, it's got the map of Dallas on the bottom. And this is not licensed by the NFL, by the way, so you can't put the logo on it, but they can do the colors and all that. And check this shit out.
The colors on the font.
Colors on the font.
It's like a cooler for like drinks. Oh, that's legit.
And then if you look inside, it's for cooler for drinks, whatever you want to put in it.
I like that a lot.
And
Brian says no, chill the fuck out, Texas.
Yeah, I had to share that because I thought, I got that, and so I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, C.J. Stroud played. Also, shout out to Josh Dobbs, bro. Gets traded to the Vikings on Tuesday. Is the backup quarterback because he's the backup to the backup because Kirk Cousins tore his ACL.
Yeah.
The backup quarterback gets injured and Josh Dobbs has to go into the game. He had literally been there since Wednesday, took no reps of practice at all, didn't know half of his receivers' last names, and had to teach his offensive line his cadence on the sideline. There's literally a clip of him with the center talking, this is my cadence. And he went out there and balled the hell out. Like,
Josh Dobbs, and I've always felt this way, but Josh Dobbs is very good. I mean, he's very talented.
He's very good.
And
he's also literally an aerospace. It's on some NASA shit. And I believe, because I've watched interviews and I know how smart he is, I genuinely think he's the only quarterback in the league that could do what he did just now, just having to be that smart. And
well, I mean, yeah, his IQ has to be off the charts, right? And I mean, when I look at him coming on the field and just playing like that, I mean, it just reminds me of that Cat Williams bit where he's like, all real motherfuckers are really just looking for an opportunity to let you know that they ain't bullshitting. Like, that's exactly what he really did.
Yeah. And it's like, it's weird. Like, Dobbs he was with the Steelers. If the Steelers would have held on to him, you got to freaking, this guy's decent, man. And then he was in Tennessee, Tennessee never gave him a shot, and then he freaking goes to Arizona and beats the Cowboys in like his first start there.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, you look at that. I mean, absolutely, this kid has got something going. I mean, you look at it. So let's see. I'm trying to find some stats here for it. But yeah, in that game, he was 20 for 30, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns. Played better than Taylor Heineke, that's for sure. He led the team. He led the team in rushing. Had a rushing touchdown, 66 yards, 7 carries. I mean, he looked. It's a shame if I am an Atlanta Falcons fan that Josh Dobbs had a better running game than Bijan Robinson did. How do they not have him going?
What Atlanta? Why did y'all even draft him?
How do you fumble Bijan? I feel the same way about.
Somebody.
I feel the same way about Kyle Pitts. Like him and Kyle Pitts, for the love of God, like get them somewhere else.
Why didn't we trade for Kyle Pitts? We don't need Kyle Pitts. We have Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson's really good. But like.
The sheriff.
Y'all could have let us have Bijan Robinson. Imagine Tony Pollard and Bijan Robinson in the same backfield.
Dobbs is a free elf. I'm happy for him.
They call him the Pastronaut.
He's
literally an aerospace engineer.
Yeah. Now watch them lose the same games. Watch them lose the same games they would have lost with Kirk Cousins. But the Vikings fans can't blame Kirk Cousins. Watch Josh Dobbs catch the fall for the same problems, all the defensive issues.
Or watch him win the games that Kirk Cousins wouldn't win and solidify himself a job.
All of a sudden, Kirk Cousins comes out and has the same speech Tony Romo did when Dak took over. Like, well, this is about who does the best job. Clearly, I'm not doing that.
I was looking back at some of my posts during that football season, like, because they pop up on your memories on Facebook, and I was like, yeah, I love Dak, but I want. Tony Romo needs to come back. Tony Romo's our guy. That's our quarterback. He's like literally broken his back.
His last year before he retired, he played extremely well. I mean, that was the year.
That game he came at the end of 2016. That game he came in at home and he was just slinging it, bro.
Yep.
Imagine if Tony Romo would have had the offensive line and the defense that Dak does. We'd have won 2 or 3 Super Bowls back in the day.
I don't know if that would have happened or not, but I guarantee you, yeah, he would have been. It was just protecting him. I mean, we spent so much, and that's what Jerry is. He likes big time defensive players. He wants that doomsday defense to be back, and that's all fine and dandy. Like we all want that, but there was such a long time where he just wasn't prioritizing protecting Tony Romo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I love the guy, but we wasted a draft pick on Morris Claiborne.
Yeah. Yeah.
LSU product, we gotta love him, but
and Taco Charlton.
Also, the fact that we drafted Taco fucking Charlton over T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt was literally right there, and we could have taken him, and we didn't. You know who else we could have taken? Fred Warner was on the board the year he got drafted, and the Cowboys could have taken Fred Warner.
Hindsight is
2020. Who was arguably the best linebacker in football.
Hindsight is 2020, my boy.
But if we take T.J. Watt, we probably don't get Micah Parsons. So
right, yeah, Mike has obviously been a fantastic find. So,
just wait until next year when Leighton Vander Esch, DeMarvion Overshown, and Trayvon Diggs come back to this defense. Oh, it's gonna be.
And maybe by then, what's his face? Our first round draft pick, is it Mazzios, whatever his name is?
Mazzie Smith.
Yeah. Is he injured? I haven't heard his name at all this year.
They just haven't been using him. I don't know why. Like he's played some, but like
him and Deuce. I guarantee you, they're just waiting for Deuce Vaughn to get a little bigger. I feel
if Deuce Vaughn was 6'2", he'd have been a first round pick, guaranteed. If he was as tall as Bijan Robinson, he'd have been picked over Bijan Robinson.
When Turpin caught that touchdown, I was so happy. My heart sailed. I was like, Turpin, fuck yeah. Anyways, let's pick some games, man. You got notes for college football this weekend? Because I don't know what's going on.
Sir.
I just know Texas is still in it. I know that they almost blew it last weekend. They should have blown it last weekend, as we called.
Yep.
Miami finna upset Florida State this weekend.
Oh, the hell they're not.
Tennessee and Mizzou.
Yeah. So we got numbers. We got USC at number 6, Oregon.
Did you see Caleb Williams crying on the sidelines with his mom?
I felt bad.
That was the saddest shit ever. How can you not feel bad for him? He's balling out and his defense won't do anything. Like, oh my God, I feel terrible for the kid.
Because your team is coached by Lincoln Riley. He doesn't know how to
Don't believe in defense.
Players.
We don't do defense here. USC is unranked right now. It's sitting at 7-3. Surreal to see that. And the
coming off of what, 2 losses in a row, 3 losses in a row, something like that?
Yeah. Careful here. This feels like one that...
Brian just said it. This is if you look up the word trap game in the dictionary, it's this.
Yeah, I don't like this at all.
It's this game.
If I'm a Ducks fan,
playing
I'm
out of his mind. Bo Nix playing out of his mind. Top 2 contender for the Heisman right now.
Bo Nix out here looking like Harry Osborne.
He's got a bunch to lose. You know who doesn't have anything to lose? Caleb Williams in USC.
Yeah. You got to think they're coming to this game angry. If there's anything that's going to put them kind of back in the conversation, not the conversation of the playoff, but just the conversation nationally is as far as like a team that's the real deal. It's upsetting number 6 in their house, and so this is a game where if you're USC, there's nothing to play for. You're just trying to have a good damn game, and Oregon has everything to lose on this.
And it's a 10:30 on the East Coast. Kickoff is at 10:30 p.m. It's going to be one of them late night romps, man.
Now hear this: the over/under is 76.5, and somehow that still feels low. You know what I mean?
Bet that shit. Bet the over.
Oregon is a 16-point favorite. That feels generous, but I like Oregon in this game.
If I'm betting on this game, I'm taking the over in USC plus the points.
I agree. I'm picking Oregon in this game because I think they'll find a way. I think that they're a more complete football team, and USC has been losing this year to complete football teams. So this feels like a game that USC will still end up blowing, but Oregon could shoot the bed here. Like, it absolutely could happen. Let's hope that's not the case. Let's hope Bo Nix gets a good night of sleep because they're going to need it.
It hurts me to say this, but give me the Trojans by a touchdown.
Oh, no.
I don't want it to happen. Yeah. I'm actively cheering for Oregon in this game. And I have nothing against USC or Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
But I want Oregon to keep doing good. Give me the Trojans.
Right.
This just has upset trap game written all over it.
Yeah.
And the Pac-12 always cannibalizes themselves, and this is where it starts.
Oh, yeah. It feels all according to the script at this point. So, all right. Should be a good one. Looking forward to seeing what happens there.
And then we've got... Hold up. We've got number 20, newly ranked number 21, Arizona at Colorado.
Yeah, God only knows what's going to happen here.
Meteoric rise of Arizona football this season.
Yeah.
Is just...
in the absolute fall of the Colorado Buffaloes after being the September
darlings. Did you
darlings.
actually put the starting screen back up there?
Nah, it should be.
Maybe my iPad's glitching out. No, it's there. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're good.
All right.
Yeah, the absolute fall of the Colorado Buffs is kind of insane to think about, considering how hot they were. It feels like a PR stunt. Like it truly feels like September was just a big PR stunt. And here we are.
If you would have told me like 4 years ago that I would have stayed up until 1:30 in the morning on my birthday to watch Colorado and Colorado State play an instant classic, I would have laughed at you.
Yeah.
And like, I'm still aboard the Coach Prime Oregon.
Oregon. I wish him the
Colorado
best.
bandwagon, and Brian said he's been singing Fafita's praises all season. The quarterback at Arizona. I think Arizona could make some noise next year. I mean, they're already making noise this year, but like, yeah, this game give me the Wildcats by a mile. I think they're just better than Colorado at this point.
Give me Colorado.
Colorado will get it.
Give me Colorado on a flyer. Something about this game tells me that they just got a jinx on Arizona teams. So in their last 5 games, the only team they beat is Arizona State. I don't know. Something about this just says, they're gonna win. Give me the Buffs on a flyer here. I just got a feeling.
Gonna be cold. Them Arizona boys.
It's gonna be cold. Shadur's gonna still have himself a day. I mean, they're still putting up points every time they lose. It's just their defense isn't coming through. And Arizona's not putting up. Well, they're putting up pretty good enough points. I don't know. But give me Colorado. It's close. It's close in my mind.
And then I just put this one on here just because I didn't realize this one team. I didn't realize Iowa was ranked. We got Rutgers at Iowa. Rutgers, I need to mention, had a 9-7 lead over Ohio State at halftime this past week.
Isn't that insane?
And see, I put them on there against Ohio State last week because I was like, could Rutgers do something?
You know, Rutgers got a lot of talent this year. Meanwhile, Iowa won a game last week 10-7. So their last
Iowa, in more ways than one, are literally the Pittsburgh Steelers of college football.
You took the words right out of my mouth. This is a team that simply should not be 7-2. You know?
Yeah. How are they 7-2?
They're a team straight out of the 1960s. They're just all defense and
and punting.
And punting. You know what I mean? They're all tug of war field position. We take points.
It's like that joke you've been making about like. It's a sign that says y'all are supposed to suck, and it's like that can't affect me. I can't read.
I can't read, exactly. So they shouldn't be this good, but here we are. Somehow they're 7-2 and ranked. But yeah, I think this is a game that.
Let's keep the Iowa. It's November, and Iowa's at home. You're losing, Rutgers.
Yeah.
Hawkeyes.
No, I get
you're losing you're gonna lose 7-3.
I bet you Rutgers. This is gonna feel
you're not
like
gonna score any.
Yeah. This is going to feel like a game the entire time if you're a Rutgers fan where you're just like, we're moving the ball. We look at the better team. We should win this. But they're going to snatch defeat from the clutches of victory, and Iowa's going to win.
It's going to be like
one.
You remember that year when Syracuse upset Clemson?
I do.
A few years back.
Uh-huh.
And then Syracuse had a really good team, and then 2 years later they played them again when I think Trevor Lawrence was still there. Maybe. They played them again. If you watch that game, Syracuse moved the ball up and down the field, but they just couldn't get in the end zone. Mm-hmm. I think that's what's going to happen to Rutgers here. They're going to move up and down the field. They're going to go crazy, but Iowa's going to stop them and hold them to field goals.
Yeah.
And it's in Iowa. It's going to be cold.
Yeah, it's going to be 12-16 or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's going to be a weird score.
Yeah.
So, also, just wanted to say, happy birthday, my boy. It's this one's birthday. So
29.
Y'all, I pointed. It's flipped. It's this one's birthday.
29.
Yeah, last year your 20s, bud.
Texas to the college football playoff. Let's go. Shit, we'll see. I'm just waiting for it to blow it, but they keep not blowing it.
Yeah, I mean they could have blown it this week, but they didn't do it.
Yeah. Where are we going now?
I watched that. I watched most of that.
And we both picked Kansas State. We both said it, like with Quinn Ewers out, Kansas State is always opportunistic in that game. And realistically, they probably should have won. Wasn't it like a doink in the last seconds that kept them from tying the game up?
Yeah.
Or did they go to overtime and go for two? They went for two. Right?
They missed a couple of kicks actually.
That's what it was too, yeah. But they were there. But the point is there is a universe out there where they won.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways.
I bet you Kansas State wins that game 6 out of 10 times.
I think so. I really think so, despite the slow start. But who we got now?
Yeah. We got number 18, Utah, and number 5, Washington. Utah, started out this season, they looked phenomenal.
Utah, the most confusing team this year.
Yeah.
But they also just could be cursed versus Oregon teams. You look at Washington and you go, man, are they the real deal? And I think they are until they get to the playoffs. I think they win this game. I think they win out. Potentially,
I think they do too.
Unless they have to play Oregon again.
They're gonna have to play Oregon if Oregon and Washington keep winning. They're gonna have to play Oregon in the Pac-12 championship.
I think that they will. The first loss is either going to be the Pac-12 championship or in the playoff to somebody. I think this is a good team, but I think that this is reminiscent of
they'll
TCU
probably be number
year.
4, and they'll get matched up against number 1, which is going to be Ohio State or Georgia or Michigan or Florida State. Who knows? They'll get matched up. I would love to see Washington and Florida State play.
I'm all for it. I mean, I would love nothing more than to see a different damn team in the playoff. You know what I mean? But We'll see what happens. I think that they beat the Utes this weekend. Wouldn't surprise me if the Utes do pull it out, but I'm taking the Huskies and what should be another Michael Penix.
I saw a thing the other day, and it was like, oh my God, how the times have changed. The first ever playoff rankings, the first ones we ever did. Do you remember what the top 4 was?
I know A&M was 4. No, they were the second year they were 4. I forgot that the first top 4 was like Oregon, Ohio State, Alabama, and what was it? Was it Florida State? Maybe no. It was Alabama, Oregon, Florida. No, Alabama, Oregon, Ohio State, and who else? I forgot who the 4th was. It might have been Florida State.
Let me tell you.
I think it was Florida State.
It was. You got Florida State right. Florida State was number 2.
Yeah. And Bama.
Guess who number 1 was?
Who?
Mississippi State.
What? That don't seem right at all.
That was when Dak was still there.
Oh, wait. Are you talking about the first actual play or the first playoff ranking announced?
The first playoff ranking ever announced in 2014. I'm sorry if I didn't make that clear.
I thought you meant the Final Four, actually. Because the Final Four, I'm pretty sure, were Bama, Florida State, Oregon, and Ohio State, right? And that was the year that Zeke Elliott and then went all the way. Yeah.
Yeah. But the top 4 was number 1, Mississippi State.
That's
number 2.
Right.
Number 2, Florida State. Number 3, Auburn. Number 4, Ole Miss.
That's insane.
Crazy. 3 SEC teams in the top.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still remember that that one time A&M, they put A&M at 4, and then that was when y'all went to play Mississippi State in Starkville. And when Bear was still on game day, he was like, "Watch out for Mississippi State today. They got some sauce." And they ended up upsetting y'all.
Yeah, that ruined my life. I really thought we had something going on.
We got Spencer Rojas and Buff Ass Dog in
What's
the
up,
chat.
Buff? How you doing, buddy? Yeah, I know. I remember that.
We were literally so back.
I remember that. That was a wild year.
I just remember I think it was number 1 versus either number 2 or number 3, but it was the first time College Game Day ever went to Mississippi State, and it was when they played Auburn.
Yeah.
And they had a Mississippi State guy. I remember he had on like a sport coat and a bow tie. He had a long cigar.
I forgot who knocked Mississippi State out of it that year.
Alabama.
Was it Bama? That makes sense. That's right, because they couldn't hang. Yeah. Poor Dak.
Yeah.
All right. What's our next game? So
and then they lost to Georgia Tech in the bowl game, which was hilarious.
Oh, that's ugly.
Yeah. Let's see.
What, Tennessee next for our picks?
Tennessee and Mizzou, I think.
Yeah, Tennessee and Mizzou.
Number 13, Tennessee at number 14, Missouri.
They're going to be at Memorial. It's going to be a 2:30 kick. That's the 2:30 CBS spot. Yeah, this should be interesting. It's exciting to see the Tigers of Mizzou in this position because they just haven't been that in a while. 7-2, number 14. If you're a Mizzou fan, you're feeling really, really good. They lost one to Georgia last week. If I remember right, they almost beat Georgia last year out of nowhere.
They did. They played Georgia tough last year.
Yeah, they played Georgia really close last year. But yeah,
they only lost to Georgia by like 4 points, 4 or 5 points.
When your only
which was
losses,
weird because Georgia was steamrolling people.
Yeah, when your only losses are to Georgia and the LSU, you got to think, all right, we're having a pretty good year. With the way LSU's been kind of playing, how did Mizzou beat us? Like, Mizzou didn't beat y'all.
No, how did we beat Mizzou?
Oh, I got you. But yeah, no, this should be a fun game. I actually like the Tigers in this one. I think they're a little bit hotter right now. Tennessee's a 2.5 point favorite. I think it's a high scoring game.
Yeah, bet the over in this one. This is not gambling advice.
No.
if I've never said that, anything we've ever said about betting the over or the spread or the points, don't.
It's not a device. It is a take.
Yeah. Don't do that. Oh, this is super random. But do you remember a few weeks ago when I was talking about there was a movie that I couldn't remember about sports betting? It had Matthew McConaughey in it.
Yeah.
Found the movie the other day.
What was it?
I gotta go look up what the
damn it, boy, it's going. You forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Buff. I don't see
Matthew McConaughey.
I don't think the balls do it.
It's called Two for the Money.
That sounds good as hell. I'd watch that.
It had Al Pacino and Matthew McConaughey. And Matthew McConaughey was like he was like a Wall Street guy. He like played football and then he was like a Wall Street guy.
Yeah.
But then they got him into sports betting, and he was like, this is what's gonna happen. And then I remember the scene. He was really good at first. He started like shit in the bed. Like all of his picks were bad. And then he had like it like all came crashing down on him. He had like the breakdown in a bathroom. And he was just sitting on the floor just writing stuff down. And he goes back to the room. He goes, I guarantee you this is what's happening. He was like, this team's going to win this game by this many points and blah, 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 blah. And then the grand finale is him getting 100 picks right and all this money and them getting money. Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry, spoilers.
Yeah, but I say, I feel like I just watched it.
For a movie that came out in 2005.
Yeah. That's wild.
Dogs, Michigan even going to make the playoffs. They may get banned by the committee at this point. 3-game suspension is not a good sign. I agree. Michigan might be ineligible. You know what you do?
I'm not mad about
you make Michigan ineligible to make the postseason, and you take their eligibility and give it to James. Because they are 9
James Madison.
and 0.
Yeah.
The Dukes are 9-0. But because of the stupid NCAA rules, when you move from FCS to FBS, you have to wait 2 years before you can make a bowl game. It's dumb. Also, their basketball team just upset number 1 in the country, Michigan. Also, college basketball is starting. We're going to get to that in March.
All right, but at the same time, and this conversation happens a lot. This conversation is very like, do we even need to playoff? Is James Madison going to put up a chance against the Oregon, against a Georgia, against the Bama, against the Florida State? Realistically,
they would get mollywopped.
Exactly.
James Madison would get mollywopped.
So I really don't need to have. I see what you're saying. Like, give them a chance.
I'm not saying they should make the playoff, but just let them be in a bowl game because they would make a New Year's Six game.
Well,
give me James Madison and Tulane in like the Orange Bowl, and
that's money. That's a fantastic game. Anyways.
Also, rest in peace,
next?
the Air Force undefeated season. They lost to Army.
Hey, go Army. Let's fucking go. We take those. Who we got next, bud?
We do. We got the big game of the weekend. We've got number 9, Ole Miss, at number 2, Georgia.
Oh, P.S.
College game day will be in town.
Yeah, this is not complicated to me. I think Georgia does it. I think Georgia wins this game soundly. Ole Miss barely escaped A&M last weekend. Despite looking really good that game, they tried to blow it, but they didn't. Georgia obviously got the win against Mizzou last week. I mean, both teams have had great seasons. Ole Miss has one loss. I think it was to Bama was their one loss, right?
Bama was their one loss.
And that was earlier. So, I mean, yeah, this is, Lane Kiffin, as he has been, has had the Rebels looking fantastic. You really don't know. This is a game Ole Miss, I think, can win because Georgia has showed signs of weakness. You think back to earlier in the year against Auburn, whenever the only thing that happened to bail them out was they had that big tight end nobody could stop. Sometimes that's all it takes. But the bottom line is this is a moral Georgia team. They're not quite what they were last year. I like the Bulldogs here, but the Rebels absolutely could win this game. This is a close one. Give me the Bulldogs by a late field goal.
Georgia of the past, you look at this game and you're like, yep, that's a trap game. That's the game they're going to lose.
Yeah.
And I think some of that Georgia of the past is going to sneak weekend. Give me the Rebels.
Ooh, I like it.
I've been thinking about this pick all week ever since I saw the game.
Good pick.
Give me the Rebels.
Good pick.
On a flyer. I don't even know what the spread is or what. Give me the Rebels. I think they make it happen.
Brian says, have you seen that ad? I forget what it even is, but the fans are all freaking out. Like, the season's over, and somebody goes, that was only the first play. That's so me. God, I feel that's.
I think that's a Fansville ad.
I feel that so deeply. Like something goes bad. Like the first drive, we got a punt. I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Like we're not gonna be able to do it.
Yeah. That's me watching Cowboys games.
Oh my God, it's so.
If everything doesn't go absolutely perfectly, I'm like, what do we even? Like, why do we play football?
Buzz says that Georgia's not as strong as they usually are. They'll survive here, but they're not making it to the playoffs. I don't know, buddy. I think they're in. I don't think there's any possible, conceivable way Georgia doesn't make the playoffs.
They would have to lose.
They'd have to
this game. Then they would have to lose. They would have to lose their next 3 games, and one of those games is against Georgia Tech. So, like, not going to happen.
They have to lose a game and lose the SEC championship, and then I think you can maybe kick them out. But it would have but it has to be a championship because it has to be a late loss for them to really convince to kick out.
But Ole Miss and Georgia could play again because Alabama, they only have one loss.
The West is open. The West is open.
If Auburn does that Auburn magic shit they do sometimes, sneaks up and grabs Alabama, Ole Miss wins the West.
The season, we don't realize it how often the SEC this happens, but sometimes the season for the SEC truly revolves around Auburn. You don't know what the hell's going to happen until the Iron Bowl. So you never know what's going to happen there. I think Georgia still makes it in regardless. No shot they beat Alabama. What do you mean?
No shot Georgia beats Alabama? I think Georgia would beat Alabama.
I think they would too, but I think Alabama has also proven me wrong a lot this year. I try to count them out, but Milroe has been impressive. Also, what's our next game?
I remember that's it for the college games. I almost put LSU and Florida on there.
Are we just assuming Texas is going to beat TCU?
Probably.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm picking Texas.
But also, it's Texas, so it's
weird.
In they always lose to a Big 12. It is in Fort Worth, so who knows?
It's cold this weekend.
Yeah, LSU always does weird shit against Florida, and I was just sawing replays from the shoe game from the COVID season.
Mm-hmm. The shoe game. Oh, what a throwback! Oh,
remember shit? I saw a thing and it was like Florida's CFP hopes, and then it was shoe getting tossed, or it was like Florida, the college football playoff. Still one of the most hilarious things that's ever happened.
No, that was fantastic. All right, now for my segment. We got the NFL games this week. We're going to start with the Cowboys, actually. We got the Giants at home. So we get to be warm indoors. Dallas is a 17-point favorite in this game. That is absurd, but somehow it feels accurate because if they win big games this year, all they've been doing is 40-3, 38-7, shit like that. Dallas wins big.
Danny Dimes isn't there because he's out for the rest of the season. They have Tommy DeVito, the starting quarterback.
Yep, and then
give me the Cowboys minus the points. They're gonna cover that spread.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way too, but it does feel like the right line. Next, we got this is a sneaky good game, especially considering last week we got the Bengals and the Texans, and C.J. Stroud, is he that guy?
This game is going to be phenomenal. I want to watch this one. This is going to be phenomenal.
This is this is going to be a fantastic litmus test. There's a lot of talk, obviously, every week about Josh Allen, right? He's one of the he's leading touchdowns. He's leading the league in touchdowns thrown this year. Obviously, that offense has been strange in the past couple weeks. Has been holding the back, but despite all of that, it's still been very impressive. It's going to be interesting this week because.
Did you mean Josh Allen or Joe Burrow?
Josh Allen.
Joe Burrow. We're talking about the Bengals.
I'm getting there. The Bengals played the Bills last week, and we saw what happened. So if this is a great litmus test for a young quarterback. What is C.J. Stroud going to do against this Bengals defense? Does he play better than Josh Allen? Does he not? We got to see how they were against the Buccaneers last week. The Bucs defense has been on and off. This should be a really, really good test for this young man to see how good he really is, if he's actually their guy. I think he is, but we're going to see. This should be a lot of fun. I think I'm going to take on a flyer. I'm going to take the Texans, and I think he is that special. I think he is that special. I'm also
taking the Texans.
Yeah.
I like that. Obviously, I'm wearing a Joe Burrow jersey.
Yeah.
Obviously, I want Joe Burrow to always be successful. Give me the Bengals, not the Bengals. Give me the Texans by a field goal.
I like the Texans.
They are in Cincinnati. It's going to be cold.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, it should be a fun one, though. I'm looking forward to a big-time AFC matchup. We got Saints-Vikings. This has been two teams that have had their ups and had their downs, as they do. Pretty damn even matchup. But can Josh Dobbs come out? Is he that special? Derek Carr has been fine. He's done enough. The New Orleans defense has been stout all year when it needs to be.
They had a quarterback. New Orleans would be in good shape.
Well, and like I say, I think Derek Carr might be that guy. We don't know. I think he's still kind of getting settled into that system. I hate to say it because I've kind of secretly been pulling for the Saints a little bit this year. I don't know why. Probably because I have their defense in fantasy. But I think I'm taking the Vikings here. I think Josh Dobbs gets a lot more confidence in practice this week. I think he comes out and plays a damn good game. Give me the Vikings.
It's going to be in Minnesota, outside, in the cold. Josh Dobbs is a really smart quarterback. Give me the Vikings.
I think he gets it done. Let's see. What else we got that's going to be a good game? Ooh. We got the Niners and we got the Jags. It's going to be
San Francisco at Jacksonville.
It's going to be in Jacksonville. It's going to be Duval. It's going to be outdoors. It's going to be about 70 degrees. You have to look at this and go, man, I'm really thinking San Francisco, but Jacksonville quietly 6-2, man. I mean, they started out really slow, and so you kind of discount them, but look at them. I mean, they're
Jaguars are low-key my Super Bowl pick for the AFC.
Until C.J. Stroud goes around and knock him out in the wild card.
I'm not saying. I mean, the Jaguars might mess around and get the 1 seed.
They might. So I mean, yeah, I like Jacksonville here. I think it comes down to Brock Purdy because that's kind of the big question. I mean, we know from what we've seen all year, Trevor Lawrence is going to be Trevor Lawrence. He's going to play a damn good game. Yeah, and you know what really impressed me was they were able to crack the Pittsburgh problem last week because Pittsburgh's been kind of a difficult equation to solve. It was an equation that Lamar Jackson could not solve. So if that speaks to anything about this, but I like the Jags here, man. I like to keep the Cowboys curse going, where they now that they've lost to the Cowboys, they can't.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Give me the Jaguars because
give me the Jags.
The curse of beating the Cowboys is going to keep getting. Like I said, they're 0-3 since that F Dallas shirt that Kittle wore under his set. Shouldn't have been talking shit. That's all I gotta say.
The Cowboys got death touch this year.
Also, did you know that if the season ended right now, all 4 teams in the AFC North would make the playoffs?
That's insane.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy to think about.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that's kind of an interesting game. Browns Ravens. Ravens again.
Mm-hmm. If they're in Cleveland, it's the Browns are going to win because Baltimore doesn't win in Cleveland. But if they're in Baltimore, the Ravens by like a lot.
Well, buddy, you better be taking
Maybe
Baltimore.
Not by a lot. Maybe not by a lot, but because the Browns' defense is really good and they have Myles Garrett tested because he might not be human.
Yeah, I like the Browns in this game. Something about it just tells me I don't. I think the Browns' defense is playing fantastic. I think that Myles Garrett has an absolute day. Literally, we have a litmus test for this game, right? Like last week, the Ravens creamed the Seahawks, and then the week before that, the Seahawks beat the Browns. So I mean, you look at that and go, well, Baltimore's a better team. I think Baltimore is a better team, but I don't think they're the team that wins. I think Cleveland comes away with this somehow. Hate to say it. Sorry, Will, if you're watching this.
All Deshaun Watson has to do is be serviceable.
Mm-hmm.
And your defense will take you places.
Hit one for Brian real quick. We got Lions and Chargers. Lions quietly at 4-4. Detroit. Los Angeles quietly at 4-4. Lions at 6-2. So this should be interesting.
And battle of the light blue teams.
Battle of the turquoise. Yeah, I think it's going to come down to the Detroit's run game because that's when they're, from my experience, that's when they've been solid all year. If they're able to run the ball, suddenly they just can't be stopped. But I don't know.
This is the first time the Cowboys have to play the Lions this year. This is the first time I've ever been scared to play the Lions. Like, they've got us a couple times in the past where I'm like, the Lions are supposed to suck. How are they beating the Cowboys?
When they had Matthew Stafford a few years back and we had to play him in the playoffs, that was kind of rough. I was a little worried about him then. But that turned out okay.
The playoffs was cursed. You know why? Because there was a controversial call in the Cowboys-Lions game. There was the pass interference that they picked the flag up for against Dallas. Mm-hmm. And all the Lions fans were like, it was clearly pass interference. And I'm like, it clearly wasn't because the Lions receiver literally had our guy by the face mask. He could not turn his head to look at the ball, so he picked the flag up.
Yeah.
The next week, the Cowboys get cheated out of the game against the Packers. Des Bryant catch.
Mm-hmm.
And then because the Packers got that voodoo, they go into Seattle and play the Seahawks, and the Seahawks came back on them after being down 16-0.
Isn't that wild? It was just the most reverse Russian egg doll situation of all time.
And then the Seahawks went on to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that shit was so cursed. I like the Lions here. I think they're going to get it done. I mean, I hate to say it because I know obviously Brian's a big Chargers fan, but no, I think the Lions are the better team here. It is going to be a little tough to go to SoFi, but I mean, SoFi's been an egg that you can crack this year. They both them and the Rams have lost a couple games at SoFi, so it's not impossible to do. Give me the Lions.
Also, like, it's weird. Like, me and Brian were talking about this the other day. There should not be two football teams in the same.
Doesn't bother me.
Like, the Chargers need to move back to San Diego, and the Rams need to move back to St. Louis. And you put the Raiders.
I think you keep. Damn it. I don't know, man. I don't know what to do about that. I mean, I think Los Angeles is big enough for two teams, though. Like, I don't think you should have two teams like that, but they are big enough for it, you know?
I mean, but the fact that we have 4 NFL franchises that share stadiums is a little ridiculous to me.
I mean, it's
because the Giants and the Jets play at MetLife, and the how about the Portland Chargers? You know where I legitimately think
it's honestly shocking to me
they could legitimately put an NFL team.
Where?
They could put a team in San Antonio, an NFL team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, that's well established. We know that could happen.
There needs to be we got a team in South Texas. Texas is huge. Got a team in South Texas, team in North Texas. Put a team up here in Central Texas.
Mm-hmm. It makes me
San Antonio.
It makes me happy that Louisiana has a team because I don't think Louisiana has a professional baseball team.
They don't.
Isn't that insane?
Have the Saints and the Pelicans.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah. Hell no. Where are they gonna play?
Portland.
You talking about Portland? I've never been to Portland, so I don't know.
Oh no, you're talking about San Antonio.
Alamo. Oh, they would have to build a stadium. Of course.
They'd have to.
They would 100% have to build a new stadium.
Yeah.
But yeah, you let the Spurs keep playing where the Spurs are playing, and then you keep UTSA at the Alamo Dome.
I don't even want to begin to think about the logistics of owning a team, getting together with the city, figuring out how to fund building a stadium, figuring out where to put it, going through all the permits. Like, I can't imagine the paperwork and bullshit you would have to go through to decide, hey, we're going to build a stadium. Like, I can't even wrap my head around where you begin. You know what I mean?
Yeah. San Antonio has no money to build a stadium. Dog. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
in a perfect world.
Put a team back in St. Louis. Move the Rams back to St. Louis. Move the Chargers back to San Diego.
Give Jamaica a team.
They could. No, I've heard talks of them putting a team in London or a team in Germany. I don't think that'll ever happen. Just because that's a logistical nightmare.
Yeah, it really would be. And then where else do you go? Like, you can't go to like Montana. Like, first of all, the people in Montana don't want a fucking NFL stadium there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's too much pretty land out there.
Yeah, too much agriculture. Yeah, they don't want that. Fun as that would be, you know what I mean?
Dale, I have a question for you.
What you got? That's all our picks, by the way.
I feel like you're already going to...
Whoa, say that again. You cut out. Yeah, I feel like you already what?
I feel like you're gonna know my answer to the question.
Okay.
Because you know me so well.
All right. I'm listening.
But I'm actually gonna give you 2 answers after I ask you. You get to pick a city in the United States, and you get to erase from history every pro sports team in that city.
Why would you want to do this to any city?
What city do you choose and why?
Do I have to? What if I don't want to erase history?
You don't have to. You don't have to do that.
All right. I don't want to, so I wouldn't do it. But if I had to, all sports history from that city goes bye-bye forever.
Done. Never happened.
Damn. Well, I know you're just gonna be Alabama and Philly, so that's easy.
I'm just talking pro sports.
Oh, just pro sports? Okay, just talking
Just
pro
pro
sports.
sports.
San Francisco.
Okay.
Just fuck them. I don't know why. I just feel that way.
Drink for Spencer using any excuse to hate on Philadelphia team.
I mean, seriously.
And you got it right. My answer is Philly.
Of course.
Period. But let me give you what the real answer is that I think would help out most sports fans.
Let's hear that.
Boston.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get rid of the Red Sox, the Patriots, the Bruins, and the Celtics.
A lot of
Think
people
about
would be
all the
much...
championships between those four
Yeah,
franchises.
it would redisperse.
That you give back to other cities.
Yeah, that's a good point.
My personal answer is Philly, but the real answer is Boston.
The real answer really is Boston. That's kind of brilliant, actually. That's a really well thought out answer. You didn't just hold a grudge. You were like, hey, this is where the most championships are. Let's spread them. Huh.
You could say New York, but you'd be getting rid of like a lot, like because you got
the Yankees
Nets,
are history.
You got the Mets. Yeah, you got the Mets, the Yankees, the Nets, the Knicks, the Jets, the Giants, the Bills. Because we said a city, so you still have the Bills and all the Jets and Giants fans should be Bills Mafia.
Just New York City.
Right. Yeah, so just New York City, but you would. But I don't even know if you would technically get the Giants and the Jets.
I guess that's true because they're not right. Exactly. Yeah.
So you would just get rid of the Yankees, the Mets, and like the hockey teams.
Well, I don't think I'd erase anything, but if you had to, that's a really good answer. That's a very good answer.
To me, the real answer is Boston. Like I think you could make an argument for, but all the championships is the Yankees and the Giants, basically.
Yeah. Man, that's insane to think about. Well,
see, I almost want to say New York to get rid of Yankees fans. But,
but Yankees fans don't bother.
They're okay.
To be honest with you, they're just big baseball fans. Everybody wants to win. Everybody's proud of their history. Everybody wants the best for their players.
Daryl, I need you to stop using logic when I'm trying to be logical about stuff.
Hey, man.
I need you to stop making good, sound, fundamental arguments.
Hey, it could be a good weekend. Well, I'm sure Texas will keep rolling. I'm sure the Cowboys will keep rolling. I'm sure that we'll have a very good matchup. Burrow versus Stroud. That'll be a lot of fun. I'm sure the Bills won't blow it on Monday Night Football like they've been blowing it. We'll see what happens.
I can't wait to see what the Texans' new uniforms are going to look like next year because apparently they're getting new ones.
Are they?
And apparently they're going to go back to apparently they're going to use the Love You Blue colors, the Oilers colors. That's what I've heard.
Oh, please.
I really wish the Titans would sell the naming rights to the Oilers back.
I do too.
It bothers me a lot. Like, being from Texas,
it makes sense for them to be the Oilers.
Before my time.
Yeah.
Like,
it makes
Houston
sense.
should still be the Oilers.
It makes sense for them to be the Oilers. Yeah.
So here's what you do. You take if you want the Titans, that franchise, to keep all that, you just swap them.
Yeah.
Because, like, the Titans have made a couple Super Bowls, but, like, what have the Titans really done, And the Texans haven't really done all that much. So just Texans to Tennessee, and they could be the Titans now. And then move the Oilers back home and have the Oilers be...
Yeah, Titans with the same branding as the Texans right now. Same color, same everything. Just rename it the Titans.
Just have them be the Oilers again. Because they own the name. The Titans own the Oilers name. So you just move the Titans back to Houston, and you move the Texans to Tennessee.
That's too... No, I don't like that. That's too confusing. Just rebrand the Titans, but give them the Texans colors, and then give the name and the colors back to the Texans and make them the Oilers.
Yankees fans have a hard time when they're Roll Tide and Lakers. You see, I've always heard that, right? Like, if it's like this big stereotype. Like, if you're a Cowboys fan, you're also probably a Yankees fan and a Lakers fan. And, like, I've never really understood where it comes from because my entire time watching the Cowboys, I want to be a bandwagon fan of the Cowboys because we've been hot garbage for a long time.
Yeah, no, we're fans because of
somebody accused me one time of being a bandwagon Cowboys fan. And I was like, you think I chose this shit? I was like,
what are you talking
You think I made
about?
this choice on purpose?
No,
like, obviously I did, but like, of all the teams I could choose to be a bandwagon fan for, you think I chose the Cavs? boys.
Yeah, you think I was signing up for misery? What are you talking about?
During the Tom Brady era in in New England.
Yeah, it's not like all the people
Like,
back home that were bandwagon Seahawks fans because that's where Earl went. You know what I'm saying? Like that's bandwagon. Yankees fans are So and that's the other thing is I think there's a lot of people that just root for certain franchises because they're like superheroes. Like they just win a lot.
Yeah,
and they become popular that
I
way.
think the real answer, if you had to pick like big three, I can't speak on hockey. I don't know who's good right now, but if you had to pick baseball, basketball, and football, your answer would be the Chiefs, the Golden State Warriors, and if you want to, you could say the Houston Astros because arguably they've been the best team for the last several years. So if you bandwagon something.
Boy, does it feel good to be an Astros fan, having been Astros fans all our lives.
So.
Well, my boys.
I got some uniforms.
Oh yeah, let's do uniforms
for you.
And then let's wrap it up.
Oklahoma is wearing their anthracite.
Oklahoma uniforms.
Brian says Bama has to be the bandwagon college football team. Saga's absolutely. Bama 100%. It was also like back in the day when LeBron James played for and all of a sudden everybody was a Heat fan for like 3 years.
Oh yeah.
Which is like fine, but like I worked at a sports store during the era, so like we had Heat hats like crazy.
You said it's the Unity uniforms?
Maybe
versus West Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Alright, let's see if I can get this to pull up here.
They're like a dark gray with their crimson on it.
Where in the hell is this video at?
While he's looking that up, a good song y'all should listen to this week is Riptide by Connor Price and Nick.
Ooh, I feel like I've heard that.
I sent it to you the other day.
You did. I knew it was something I heard. Come on now.
Also,
my shit's so slow. They're changing
something
uniforms.
that
They plan that out way ahead of time, Buff, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is what they're gonna look like. I wish I could find the damn. Here we go. Yeah, I guess you didn't know, Buff. What we do every week, we just celebrate nice looking uniforms. That's a whole segment we do in our show. Here we go. Oh yeah. If I could get the damn.
Because I'm a big uniform fan.
Yeah, and I am too.
Also, Daryl, I would like to. Something we haven't looked at this entire season is our good friends at Delta State University.
Oh Lord, we sure haven't.
The Fighting Okra are 8-1 right now.
Ooh, them boys on something this year, aren't they?
They were good last year too. They're 3-1 at home, 5-1. They're on a 1-game win streak.
Yeah, I always like this. I always like the gray. There's a lot of uniforms you've seen kind of over the years, once a year alternates, where it's just like a gray and then like a shimmery matte finish. God, it always looks so good for some reason.
They play the Okra play tomorrow against. It's their homecoming. Play it versus Mississippi College. So go Okra.
I hope they.
And those of y'all who don't know, who we're talking about.
This is their mascot. Hang on, damn it.
Their official mascot is the Statesman, but their unofficial mascot is the Fighting Okra. And it is an okra costume with boxing gloves.
Yes,
this makes me laugh every time I see it.
This is their mascot right here. There he is.
That is my favorite picture of a mascot that's ever been taken. Ever.
I mean, just look
we
how
discovered them.
Everything about it just does not scream. Like it just begs you to not like this. This is an older one. Here he is in an ESPN commercial.
Yeah, it's
so happy.
The okra. And we just discovered them. Have you seen the videos they put there? I guess they're like an aerospace type of school.
Oh, are they really?
Because they did a video. Maybe, I don't know, but they did a video in an airplane with the okra, and he like snuck up behind this guy, and it was like talking about like don't litter or don't be on your phone or something.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarious.
Oh, that's amazing.
But yeah,
so glad they exist. So grateful for the okra.
I am too. Also, there's a one final thing I want to share with you.
Hit me.
And I would just like to tell you the name. Let me find him. The name of current University of Akron.
Okay.
His name is Jeff Undercuffler.
You can't be fucking serious.
I am 100% serious. Undercuffler, and it's spelled exactly the way you think it is.
That sounds like a Harry Potter name. That sounds like a Undercuffler Hufflepuff.
That sounds like it sounds like a villain from a Disney.
It does.
It makes me think of the Underminer from the.
Yeah, behold.
He's like the minor. The Undercuffler would be like he'd be like a wannabe cop, like a wannabe undercover cop that carries a bunch of handcuffs.
Yeah,
he's the minor villain that Heroes catches at the beginning of the movie.
He walks around people that have suits on, and he cuts off their cufflinks. He steals them.
Mm-hmm. So,
Roboduck at UCF at UO. No, excuse me.
Have you seen Roboduck?
I'm about to. Come on, internet.
I don't know if Roboduck.
Oh, I don't like Roboduck. We have talked about this. Roboduck.
Is Roboduck the one I'm thinking about? It's like a skin tight suit with a helmet with like a duck bill on it.
Roboduck looked like the Green Goblin from Spider-Man. I don't like that.
Roboduck does look like the Green Goblin.
I'll get you, Spider-Man. I don't like that shit at all. I don't like the Green Goblin duck. I do not like that at all. Bro, if I saw this in my if I saw this in my house at 2 a.m. in the dark, I'd fucking jump out the window. I'd be terrified. That thing looks like it could strangle me. I don't like that.
It kind of looks like a stormtrooper. Like the back of the helmet looks like a stormtrooper.
Everything about that makes me so uncomfortable. That is uncanny as fuck. No thanks. You can keep it.
There are a lot of there's like old mascot pictures from back in the day. There's some really cursed looking mascots. Have I showed you the one of the Nebraska mascot with some president back in the day?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Horrible looking.
Well, gang, we're going to call it a show because Daddy's tired. And I would like to get in bed and snuggle up and read a book before I fall asleep.
I'm going to get some food and play video games.
Ooh, what you playing? You start God of War like I told you to?
Not yet.
You stupid
I've been having too much fun with Valhalla.
And I
haven't.
Good.
But
yeah, get started on it when you can, man. It's a class. You'll enjoy it. So, well, guys, like the video, share the video, subscribe. We'll see you next week around the same time. Take care. Have a damn good one, Spencer, my boy. A pleasure.
Go Ducks. Go Cowboys. Go Tigers. Go Aggies. Go Okra. Go.
Bro, I just hope every team has fun. Go home.
Go home.
All right, we'll see y'all next week.
Like from Angels in the Out. From no, what was it? Was it maybe when he was like run home and he went street back to his house?
I think that was Angels in the Outfield. It's been a long time. All right, we'll see y'all later.
Throwback.
Hell yeah.